Hello and welcome to the Wheel to Wheel podcast with Ali and Akeem.
This is our F1 weekly catch-up.
The British Grand Prix, Akeem.
Yes.
It delivered.
Oh, always does. Always does.
And you know what, Akeem? I know we always try to start with the winners, but there's only one true winner last Sunday, and that is Nico Hülkenberg. Started P19 and finished P3 on the podium in a kick Sauber in the wet.
The Apex legend himself.
Yeah,
Live in the making.
the real Sunny Hayes.
Yes.
What a race for Nico Hülkenberg. I'm so happy for him.
Yeah.
Like, I've been singing his praises for so long, and I think a lot of us have. Like, he won F3, he won F2, he's won Le Mans. He's such a talented driver, and he
Real
only
talk.
just got his first F1 podium after over 200 races, and he got a Lego trophy for it.
But you know what?
Fair play, fair enough,
Facts. I think with him, he was the one he's been delivering so much, and it's like you don't see it because he's unfortunate enough to be in that team.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to see like what would he be like in a good car.
Yeah,
Like I would love it if he was like one of the picks for Aston Martin next year.
Yeah, but Sauber's going in a really good direction. They're going to be Audi next year. They got, I might butcher his name. I think his name is Jonathan Wheatley, the guy from Red Bull, and they've got Binotto from Ferrari, and they just seem to have the foundations there. They've got a good team to really build on for next year when Audi comes in.
Yeah, I give them 3 years. I think that's all. We'll see something because Audi as well, they're legendary motorsport as well. To be fair, like a lot of the things that they go into, they tend to do really well in, and I'd love to see what they can do in F1.
And not to take away from Hülkenberg, they also got Bortoleto, who's an F2 champion and up and comer. So they definitely have all the ingredients to cook next season or in the seasons to come. And let's hope so. But we got to give a round of applause for Nico Hülkenberg. That was just fantastic, man. I'm so happy for him, and I think everybody is.
I think he deserves to go in the thumbnail for this.
Yeah. That's your job. You make a good thumbnail for that.
Oh, 100%. Don't worry, I got you, fam.
But yeah, what was crazy for Nico Hülkenberg is that he was able to even keep Lewis's Ferrari behind at times, and even though we saw Lewis catching up at some sectors in the lap, but then Nico could always manage it somehow. He just managed the whole race perfectly, and that's experience there. That is,
He's not buckling under the pressure
No.
and all of these things. It's like you can tell. Like
I'd feel so under pressure, knowing that you're in this position. This is going to be your first F1 podium. You've been chasing this for so many years. I'd be feeling it, but he was so calm, cool, and collected, and just amazing.
you have to be, man. I know that I wanted Lewis, but then a part of me was like, you know what? He will get other podiums, but I think this moment right here, it'll be quite magical, especially for it to be like Silverstone in the rain. There's everything that's been going on.
Rain.
It's crazy.
That Silverstone definitely delivered in the sense of the conditions were we went from mostly it being an 85% being in the wet, then we got the last 10 laps or so in the dry, and it was just so much happening. And I want to go over to the actual winner of the British Grand Prix, and that is Lando Norris.
Mr. Norris himself.
Yes, and
yes.
I have to say, he, out of everybody apart from Hülkenberg, he didn't mess up.
No, and surprisingly enough, he usually buckles it, but this time he really firmed it and he zoned in. I think this was Piastri's race to actually lose because, he started off really well. He was 10, 13 seconds ahead, you know what I mean? And just unfortunate circumstances,
Yeah, I mean, it's key thing that you said it was his to lose, and he definitely made sure of that himself with the safety car braking, and it was a justified penalty. I think the FIA came out and showed us why it was a penalty, and based off the telemetry of the car and how hard he braked, and it was. I think we can all say, I think everybody's in agreement that it was a justified penalty. It's just an inconsistency. I think that's what you're going to come up to, aren't you?
I was gonna say, do you think it's too harsh though? 10 seconds, or do you think it's supposed to 5?
But this is a conversation we'll be having all season, and we've been having for the last couple of years. Is the inconsistent time penalties that they give. Some things are 5 seconds, and others is 10 seconds. But they could also be the same act. But it's just why is this different timing? But I guess it's just it's just FIA.
Yeah,
FIA being just weird about it.
They just not been doing a good job, period. And even when they do stuff like by the book, people are still we're still going to question it and say, oh, why are you doing it by the book this time? You didn't do it by the book that time. So they need to set themselves a proper foundation level of just being consistent until,
Yeah, and you can tell Piastri was extremely frustrated on the podium and in the cool down room. Yeah, a bit of a sourpuss.
Yeah,
I think we started to see a little bit of true colours of Oscar Piastri. He's a guy that we've been saying all season long. He's such a cool, calm, collected guy, and we saw different on Sunday.
But I think I like to see that side though, because it's more realistic. You know what I'm trying to say? Raw. Like you're F1 driver. There was a part, it didn't make sense to me. You're too cool for F1 driver. You know what I mean? Like we need to see that bit of like the
fire,
bit of selfishness.
The fire, yeah.
Like him saying like, yo, Lando, you need to switch out. Like the fact that he even asked that, I was like, wow, that's very selfish. Like, how can you say that to him, man? Why do you want him to switch out?
It was very bold.
Yeah.
And I can't lie, I would be a little bit embarrassed if I said that. It was a weird one to ask. I can't lie. Like, I was thinking, nah, man, that's obviously a slam dunk penalty. But obviously in the moment, he's probably thinking like he was in the right, that he didn't do anything wrong. But like even that's the first time I ever heard like if a driver's got a penalty and it's this teammate, it's not even like a different constructor, it's his teammate, and they're like, well, in terms of like fairness, if the team thinks it's fair, maybe we should swap back and we can go racing. And Lando was just not in agreement. I was like, that's a big ask. Like I've never heard Max ask that. I never heard Lewis ask that sort of stuff. It was a weird one.
I don't think I would respect Lando if he did it either, to be fair.
No.
If he'd done it, I'd be like, nah, man, what's going on here?
And Lando, fair play. He didn't make a mistake. He drove a really great race. And even without the 10-second penalty, like he was catching up to him. He was like, by the time he pitted, he was only 2 seconds, 3 seconds behind Oscar at that point. So Lando was gaining.
Yeah, he was making sure of it, man. And even now, it's like, even in the actual championship now, 8 points.
Yeah, and it's heating up. We're actually getting a really good title fight, and the back-to-back wins for Piastri was vital, especially going into this, I think it's 2-3 week break until Spa.
Yeah.
It's so vital, and I think maybe Piastri might be feeling... We saw Piastri's feeling a little bit. He was obviously annoyed that Lando won that and somewhat inherited a win. So yeah, I think he's definitely feeling it, and it's just making the championship fight that much more better.
And you know what I'll say, interestingly enough, like about that penalty again, sorry to bring it back, but have you realised that they did not challenge it?
You know what, Zach Brown on the radio was saying that they were going to challenge it, but the fact that they didn't, I think they probably looked at the replays and thought, because it cost them to actually appeal. It cost the teams like a couple grand to actually appeal. So they probably thought, nah, forget about it, Kerr.
But you know what I think as well? I think, it was kind of smart as well. You don't want your two drivers to kind of be close to each other either. I think as well, they didn't want Lando and Piastri to really fight it out. You know, that 10-second penalty kind of put them in a way like, you know what?
Separate them.
Let's separate them. And we're guaranteed a 1-2.
Every race now for McLaren seems to be a 1-2. There's just a force of nature. Their car is leaps and bounds ahead of everyone.
I've never seen so much they have 1-2s like nothing.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen so much 1-2s in a constructor. I don't think Red Bull done that in the RB19 days. Like they had like 2-3. Yeah, it wasn't as consistent as the McLaren boys. But we all know about that second Red Bull seat, so I think they weren't going to do that. But I think Mercedes had a good run with Bottas, and especially with Rosberg and Hamilton, because they were competing. Yeah. Probably the closest thing to a comparison to like Piastri and Norris. Piastri
But yeah, that was good. And I want to go over to link to the whole Piastri penalty where Max losing the car after the safety car restart. What did you make of that?
I could tell, like, and even Max, like, I realized he's made a couple errors.
He did,
you know what I mean? And Lando even made Max making an error, and that's really weird. Like, I feel like he's gonna be a little bit more. He's a little bit more frustrated nowadays, and I think his whole spirit, demeanor, it's like he's kind of just.
He's given in. He's checked out.
Exactly.
He cares for sure. I'm not saying that Max Verstappen doesn't care about winning Grand Prix or winning championships. It's just 60 points now, so you kind of have to. He's being realistic. Now we're actually at the halfway point, so there's 12 more races now, and 60 points in deficit against the beastly McLarens. You're kind of thinking, yeah, that's a slam dunk.
Well, how much was it from Miami? Was Miami 12 points in last year? 12 rounds in, sorry.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, how much?
I think Miami is always like in the first
8 or so. Oh, okay. Because I remember the deficit was around, because Lando had about a 60-point lead to catch up on, innit?
Yeah.
As well.
But then you got to put context into it. It's like the Red Bull fell off hard and the McLaren rose up hard. And now it's the same story. It's just the McLaren is just like here, Red Bull's here, and everybody else is just here, aren't they? So it's like for Max to actually become a title contender, it's going to take a few, maybe like 3-4 DNFs for both McLaren. It's not even just a one McLaren driver, it's both of them, which makes it even more tough.
It's hard, mate. It's hard. He's definitely going to be, 2026 is going to be very interesting, to say the least. I actually don't know where he's going to...
Well, I mean, like, with this whole Silverstone Grand Prix, this is just going to ramp up the rumours for Max to Mercedes even more, because the week coming into this, it's just been so much about Max to Mercedes, and now with another bad result, because the car wasn't it. He lost it a couple of times, but I think that was down to the rear wing that they're running, because they expected a dry race.
Yeah,
so
low downforce.
The car was not there for Max for him to even compete. I mean, he was doing well up until that part where he lost it. He did well to recover to 5th place, but he had a great Saturday. That was a mighty lap.
Yeah.
It's just those moments of brilliance that you just know, like, yeah, you kind of think like, yeah, it's Max Verstappen, and he's going to have those moments of brilliance, even if he's not in the best car.
You said you predicted still a couple of race wins from him, innit?
Yeah, I think you've got 12 more rounds of racing to go, and I think he'll definitely pick up like max 2 wins.
2-3?
Yeah, potentially. But the thing is Horner's said that they're not going to touch now the Red Bull. It's like they're 90% focused on 2026 now, which makes sense because like it's the championship gone.
Yeah, that's a good place to be right now, which I think that's where Ferrari needs to focus on.
Yes, and on to Ferrari.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Go on, you take it.
Well, you know what? Eat some humble pie now. They played 2 strategies this time. They rolled the dice with Charles.
Yeah.
Lewis, they played it more safe. The race itself, I've realized that, you know what, the back markers had more of a better strategy, especially what I've realized with the Inters. They should have stayed on for a little bit longer, run it as much as you can, and just like see where you can go with it. Because let's be real, I mean, they're thereabouts, but I don't think the car was really too happy in the rain.
It's weird because they set up for the rain, because you could see it in qualifying, because in free practice 1 and 2, they were flying. They were like, Lewis scored first, and I think Charles was either second or first on the second FP2. So they were geared up. Like, I was thinking like, okay, maybe I made a bad prediction or giving him like but then I realized, hang on, it's Sunday. You've got to wait till Sunday. And then, then the qualifying came. You know, Christmas came early for my prediction. Saturday came, and they didn't do bad in qualifying. It's just not what was expected, like based off of Friday.
Facts. And I think right now it's like I'm starting to see a kind of a pattern now. You know what I mean? They start off kind of good, qualifying, fifth and sixth again, and then the race, you know, just yeah. It's kind of, but I realized, you know what? I am not going to bet on the horse
Anymore?
yeah. 'Cause I feel like no, I think it makes sense now. Like I think not betting on them, they do better when you don't, you know.
You want to be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. Let's put it like that. Let's put it.
But on the strategy part, like, you know, they gambled on Leclerc for them to go on the mediums. And a few of them did. George did and Antonelli did. And it didn't work out. And the back markers had the better strategy, just being on inters and just make them run longer. We saw that with Lance Stroll and Nico Hulkenberg, and they finished well in the points.
Right.
Stroll could have done better, but I think that Aston Martin really struggled once it was off the inters. But yeah, Nico Hulkenberg gained the most
P19.
From P19.
From P19 to podium. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
and
wild.
Even though they did it with Lewis only managed P4. I think, when did he start? He started P4, didn't he? But he lost
P5.
P5?
Yeah, it started P5, I think. No, wait.
He was P5. P4 was George.
Yeah, that's it.
P4 was George.
Oh, George. Oh, my God. Jeez. We didn't even put him in the notes. But what I love about the whole Mercedes thing, right? They're like, what did they say about the pit? They said, because he went to pit, innit?
Oh, I know what you're going to say, yeah.
They're like, oh, don't be suicidal.
Yeah. We want to be brave, but not suicidal.
Oh, and then they throw him on hards. Oh, my God.
Yeah, but that was George's decision.
But at that point, it's like, it was crazy because it was too, it was not enough to be on hards, because I think that was like the first stint was where I think I was just like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
Because the first stint, I was like, if rain's predicted in 10 minutes, by the time the hards actually work into the right operating window, you're going to have to, you know, go back in anyway to put inters on.
Yeah, it was obviously a gamble. They probably thought, you know, if this paid off, you know, it's like you're on the much faster tire than the inters. If it is dry enough, they're going to be able to outlap these guys, get faster. And then these guys and the front runners would have to pit, and they will lose loads of positions that they've gained. But it just didn't work out. The track was too wet. And I have to say, I do believe it should have been red flagged at one point. Like, the vision was absolutely ridiculous. We couldn't see anything on the broadcast. I'm just thinking, like, what the fuck are the drivers seeing? Because I saw Isaac Hadjar's, I think his helmet cam or his onboard, and the way he slammed into Antonelli's rear, I get it. You couldn't see anything. Like, he just said that he just came out of nowhere, and I get it. He did actually come out of nowhere.
We believe that one.
And Lewis was out there complaining, saying like it should be red flag because the vision, there was nothing there. Even we saw Lewis. It was a cold overtake and a cold the shot of it. You see Lewis come out of this mist of rain that we couldn't see anything, and just did a double overtake on Ocon and George. I was thinking, man, can't see shit.
Facts. But you know what's even more wild? It's like I'm watching this race and I'm just like, you know, all these laps, you're losing so much laps going away. I was like, oh, this is like, it's only a 52 lap race.
Yeah. As much as rain is fun for Formula One, not the whole race. And I think red flagging it at the point where it was really unbearable. You can just give it a couple minutes, let it dry. We could have had more laps for them when they pitted towards the end. I think we only got like 8 laps on like slicks.
That's when it got hot.
But if you red flagged it, we could have actually got like maybe potentially 14, 15 more laps of just dries, and we could have had a different dynamic to the race, and it would have brought something. Because what makes an F1 race fun when it rains is when it rains unpredictable, when they are on dries first, and then randomly it just starts raining. It's like it becomes this whole frantic circus. It's like, oh, we need to get into pits. What's the strategy? And that's when it gets fun.
I think that's what made last year kind of
exactly. Last year was like that, and it was amazing. But yeah, red flag I think would have been good. But I mean, it's still a good race and it delivered for sure.
Facts. Yeah, there's so much happening. Like it's I don't even think we're doing ourselves a favor. Like, I feel like there's still a lot of stuff that we haven't even covered as well. Too
much. Like, we gotta talk about like Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly had a really great race, and the way he was fighting against Lewis Hamilton. Yeah. In an Alpine, it was just amazing.
Lewis, Max, he gave everyone quite a good run for their money, and I was like, wrong.
But what Senna says is like the rain is the greatest equalizer in F1, so he was kind of showing some skill, because it kind of because I don't think the Ferrari was great in the rain. Red Bull definitely wasn't great in the rain. So it's like a good equalizer for other lesser drivers to be like, okay, maybe I can give this guy a fight, make it feel like it's same machinery almost.
Oh, facts. Yeah. No DRS, no, you know what I'm saying? It's easy.
Yeah, no DRS.
Yeah, just
barely got a DRS.
Yeah, no, real talk.
We got it. I think it was 2 laps before. I think Oscar overtook Max on DRS, and then Lando didn't need DRS because Max went off. But then 2 laps later, DRS disabled. And probably Max was probably thinking, should have been 2 laps sooner, because he definitely needed that to be disabled. That Red Bull was not combated. Like, it was not ready for the rain.
No. But to be honest, like, because his has a low downforce,
yeah.
I don't think DRS made a big advantage for him either, to be fair. Yeah, it's just kind of a little bit unlucky as well.
And Aston Martin frustrations. Like, I thought, fair play to Lance Stroll. Like, for some reason, he's good in the rain.
Hey, don't sleep on Stroll. Goated.
He's good in the rain, and he has proven that. I think he had Australia, the first race of the season, was really good for him as well, and in previous seasons he is good in the rain.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
I think it's because he's driving slower. He probably can't handle the fast pace, but as soon as they went on the dries and the slicks, it was backwards, dropping places, wasn't it? Like, I think he finished 7th by the end of it, which is still a very good result for Lance Stroll, because considering I think Fernando Alonso didn't finish. Where did he finish? I think he maybe got like 1 point.
Something, yeah.
1 or 2 points. And then Lance Stroll was back ahead of Fernando Alonso, by the way.
I'm telling you, mate. You like, listen, we've got to
Who
surprise
should they replace? Well, we know Lance Stroll is untouchable.
Yeah, mate. I'm sorry, Alonso, man. Sorry, man.
One thing I do want to talk about is circling back to Hülkenberg's podium. But did you see... I feel so bad. Like, it was his first podium and no one sprayed him with the champagne. Lando and Oscar
Did they not?
No, they ignored him.
Oh.
He was just there by himself shaking the ball.
Oh, bless him.
I'm thinking, like,
but
man,
come
on.
But you know what's funny? Oscar was actually really proud for him. He mentioned his name so much. Like, even on the team radio at the end.
Everyone did.
Yeah.
Everyone did. I think that's one of the things that everybody was just happy for Hülkenberg.
But I think he just, you know, when you're just going into a toxic relationship, he was basically like in between 2 toxic drivers right there.
That reminds me of like the podium when Max did that legendary drive in Brazil in 2016, I believe it was. And he got to podium, and in that cool down room between Nico and Lewis was just so tense. And Max had this big grin on his face. He's bare happy. And it's just like, oh man, it's just taken away from like I don't know if he was 17, but like a young boy at the time, just like they're happy.
So happy.
Did a legendary drive, and those two are just like daggers. It was just so tense, and that's what it felt like for Nico Hülkenberg. And Oscar had that. People gave him a lot of stick for what he said in the post conference about. He asked Nico, it's like, Nico, how does it feel after? He was so precise. How does it feel after 200? I can't remember the actual number. I'm gonna make it up.
39.
Yeah, after 239 F1 races in your first podium, that you get a Lego trophy. And I don't know how to take it. At first I just took it as like, oh, maybe that's just Oscar's being Oscar, like, you know, that's how he kind of comes off. But then I think people took it a bit more differently. It's like shut up, man, stop being salty. Why do you have to mention 239? And just, you know, I get that, I do get it, but I think Piastri's frustrations was definitely telling. You couldn't.
He made a comment as well to Lando. He said, "Oh, I done the same as you," something like that.
Yes, in the cool down, it's like, yeah, I did the same as you.
Was it a turn or something? He lost it. Oh yeah, I love it.
That cool down room. It was the most awkward cool down room. Like, I felt like I was there. I just felt so uncomfortable watching that.
I know. I felt awkward. I'm right here.
Especially when they were watching on the TV where the safety car braking thing was, and it was silent. It was completely silent. You know, no one said no comment. No one wanted to comment on it because they could tell Piastri was just pissed. And of all people, Lando couldn't say anything because he got that win from him.
But I think at the same time, it's like they kind of knew, like, he kind of fucked up there. But you can't tell him. You can't tell him that right now. So you just have to just...
Lando should have, because Lando's got that humour. As like, he should have done it. But because they're competing for the championship, he really couldn't, could he?
Yeah, and I know Lando, man. He's been in the team longer. He wants to bring this home.
Yeah.
You get me?
Just to round up the video, I just kind of want to go through some quick ones. Haas, we had Ocon finishing in the points, I believe, and then Behrman just outside in 11th place, but then he did crash into Ocon in a nice pirouette.
They were so in sync. I was like, wow.
It was a ballet, wasn't it? It was a ballet
so
crash.
So beautiful.
Yuki Tsunoda, yet again, being the most dangerous man to combat in an F1 race. Anytime you're near Yuki, just accept a tap next to you. It's just, second Red Bull seat struggles continues for Yuki Tsunoda and Red Bull.
Definitely.
Red Bull in the mud, for sure. They've hardly scoring any points. And then, what else do we have? Colapinto, another DNF. I'm not going to stick it on him, because obviously it was just a car more than anything. Kimi Antonelli, obviously DNF for being rammed in for Hadjar. I feel bad for him. Wasn't his fault. Hadjar lost control. Both racing balls out. A lot of DNFs.
A lot, man.
And a lot of them are rookies. Bortoletto as well.
Yeah.
A lot of rookies.
Yeah, sad to see, man. But even Kimi, he didn't really deserve it, to be fair. Like, he actually just got rammed.
Yeah.
He couldn't really do much about that, to be fair.
But yeah, I think that's everything covered from the British Grand Prix. Stay tuned. Next week we'll have a special video. We'll be doing the F1 movie review.
Sonny Hayes, the
Nico Hulkenberg, the Kick Sauber story next week.
The Apex legend.
Yeah, we'll be talking about F1 news as well.
Yeah, sweet. On that bombshell, guys.
Yeah. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and see you next week.